Welcome back. Dare I call this another daily doji? It's been a long time since I've posted one. Well, it's not been that long. And I'm going to do technical analysis for crypto, Bitcoin, the stock market, and altcoins. We're going to take a look at Doge, SHIB, maybe some gaming crypto coins. And I'm going to try to look at all these tabs I have open up top. Let's get right into it. This is not financial advice. I don't recommend trading in a bear market, or I don't recommend trading crypto really. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean I'm recommending for you to do it. But I'm fascinated by Elliott waves and Elliott wave theory. So that is what I'll be using to do an count to do the technical analysis. I'm using Elliott waves. If you don't know what that is, I learned about it about 5 years ago, and it's been very, very useful, in my opinion. All right, so the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies, it's not looking very good. And I'm doing the analysis as I look at it right now. I didn't write this out, so this is kind of off the cuff. That's how I like to do it, so it's more natural. But this is looking like another wave down is appearing, and it could either go more sideways or drop off a cliff. I would definitely expect it to go down to that white line at least. And I've been expecting, well, a lot of people have been expecting a huge crash at some point, because this is just pie in the sky up. When it goes parabolic like this, it's always corrects and comes back down. So look at this last correction here. This was actually this was actually one big correction. See how I have this labeled as an A, B, C? A lot of people that don't know Elliott waves thought this was a crash, and then that this was another crash. Well, really, this is a common corrective pattern. And we're going to see something similar to this, I think, in the crypto space as well, because these patterns do repeat themselves. That's the whole point of learning it. All right, so I don't think this is looking good. Personally, I'm shorting it. I know that people are going to freak out, and it might not be profitable. We'll see. I'm not like betting everything on it or anything like that. I'm just playing around a little bit. Nothing too out of control. So let's move on. We've got gold over here, almost at an all-time high. Came back down a little bit. The crypto people make fun of gold, but look at this right here is what's catching my eye. The gold-silver ratio is rocketing, it looks like. 83 is very, very high historically for the gold-silver ratio to be. That means for every 83 ounces of silver, you can get 1 ounce of gold. And that's a lot. So you can take that to mean different things. One way you could take that to mean is to trade your gold for silver, maybe. But it looks like it might even go a little higher. I mean, this is already really high, and it was crazy high back here a couple years ago. That being said, silver's doing not much. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm going to take a look next at Doge and SHIB. I did a Doge count in a video kind of recently. That was my last video. And this is the count I had in that video. one of the potential counts. So you can check out that video if you want to see what my train of thought was then. The reason I thought it was going to come down farther, let me just get Doge on the screen. Okay. The reason I thought it might go farther, and that was the weekly chart. So I'm looking at the long-term time frames first. You don't want to look at the 1 minute or the short time frames like they show on the news, because you can't really see what's going on. You need to zoom out when you're counting Elliott waves. Okay, so I've got these labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. That was the bull run up. Now, obviously, look at what we've got since then. This is a bull run. This is what it looks like, something like that. That's an impulsive wave. An impulsive wave makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Now, this correction, these are difficult times to trade. I said over and over and over in my videos last year that the correction could get more and more complicated and take longer and longer as it goes, and that's what's happening with Doge. It's not happening with every coin, but it's definitely happening with Doge. If this next wave does keep going down, it's just taking its sweet time. Now, could it have been the bottom right there around 10 or 11 cents? It could have. And if it was, then I'm waiting for it to break above this white line. That white line is should be the 200. Yeah, the 200 EMA, which is the moving average, an exponential moving average. So what this means is this is the average for the last 200 days. And a lot of people trade using that line. And as you can see, it got rejected right there on April 5th and 6th. And then it tried again a couple days ago and then rejected again. If it comes back over this white line and stays and then bounces off of it and goes up, then I will probably turn bullish. But it is literally not bullish. It is literally bearish when it's under that white line. So until it gets back above it and stays above it for an entire candle, which these bars are called candles, and then stays up there, then we'll start thinking bull market, maybe. This could be the beginning of one, but right now it's rejecting. So once it gets above that white line, which the line right now is at about 16 cents, but that line will change as the days move. It'll change a little by little. All right, so let's look at SHIB. SHIB's chart is a bit different because we had this wave up here. It's like a 1, 2, 3. So did SHIB even have a bull market yet? Maybe not. This to me doesn't necessarily look like a bull run, because it could just be a counter wave trend inside a correction. Because when I see big 3 waves like this, 1, 2, 3, the wave we're at now is overlapping this previous wave. That means it is definitely not currently a bull market, but I'm sure we could tell that anyway. And look, it's below that that white line, which is bearish. And I've been bearish this whole time for the last year, because I know Elliott waves, and I know it's not just going to magically end the correction. Corrections take a long time. They always do. It's normal. Look how long this wave took sideways in SHIB. Months and months. So once this is done consolidating, it could go really far back down and still be okay. It doesn't mean necessarily it's dead like people say. People say like Bitcoin is dead or something like that. Well, it's just in part of the Elliott Wave process. It's always somewhere in a wave. So it doesn't just die. But anyway, let's check out. Here is HEX, which my friend was checking out. Well, he's investing in it, but he doesn't give financial advice either. So I have my eye on it, and it looks like that correction could have been done. And I have it comparing with Ethereum right next to it. But let me look at it by itself. Okay, so this could have been done. That could have been the bottom. But remember what I kept saying last year, is that corrections there can be a double or triple correction. And I'm not just making that up. That's part of Elliott Wave theory. And Elliott waves always repeat themselves. So let's take a look at this, if I can find the... Okay. So if we have a three-wave pattern, this could have been 1, and then 2, and then 3. If I move this, that was in the way. Okay, so this could be done with something like that. I've had my eye on this, and I see the subwaves 1, 2, 3 already done. Oh, look at this. Look at our white line. What have we got here? I'm just getting excited. We've got a green candlestick poking out. Poking out, as the Canadians would say. Let's see. So the problem with this is it could get rejected. Like Doge got rejected a few days ago. HEX could just be doing something similar to that, like this right here. And then it could go back down under. We'll have to keep an eye on it and to see if the next candlestick stays above that white line or goes back under. Because those three subwaves could be just smaller waves inside something bigger like this. And let me change the color of them so that we can't go negative as far as I know. So there would be like another 3 waves going down inside this wave. Does that make sense at all? That's why it never goes directly down. Sometimes, like Doge, the longer the correction goes on, the more complicated it gets and the more difficult it is to call the bottom. But we can still try for fun, not for financial advice. But this does look like it could potentially be done. And now that it's coming up above the 200, I would take a gamble personally, but that doesn't mean you should. But that doesn't, we could, like I said, have a double or triple correction, which is when you get one corrective pattern like this, and then it tries to come up 1, 2, 3, something like that, and it gets rejected potentially, and then comes back down into another corrective pattern. That is one potential to beware of. It's not just magically going to start a new bull market when YouTube and Twitter says it does. It's going to do it when it does it. When people are buying, more people are buying than selling, and people are quit shorting, then it'll go up. So until that happens, wishing for it doesn't do any good. I just try to ride the waves the best I can. And yeah, I try to guess the bottoms, but it's not easy necessarily. Although in hindsight, this one will look really easy. This looks like a pretty good corrective shape so far. I would keep an eye on if it stays above that white line. If it does, that would be a pretty good sign to me, but I don't know all the fundamentals of this project. My friend knows about it, but I didn't do the due diligence, so I'm just doing the technical analysis, not the fundamental analysis in this video. All right, let's move along. Apple. Ooh, Apple is doing some kind of correction up there. I don't have an Elliott Wave count on this, on Apple yet. Oh, PayPal and Shopify have totally taken a giant you-know-what. Wow. There's going to be a bounce in here, I would think, unless they go out of business completely. There will be some kind of a bounce at some point, probably back up. See how these are below that white line, the 200 EMA? It's going to want to get back up to that line, even if it then comes crashing back down. That line is kind of like a magnet. So the farther it gets away from that white line, the better chance of some kind of bounce or crash, depending on where it is. And Shopify also. I've started a few Shopify stores, but then wham, they were rocketing last year. And I thought that might have been the top where I have it circled up there, but it did one more little wave up, it looks like, before it came crashing down. This might be a good buy, but again, I don't know the fundamentals of the company. I have used the products or their platform, but I didn't do the Warren Buffett style balance sheet analysis. This is just a technical analysis of the price. But I would expect some kind of a bounce in this price at some point that might be a good trade. So if you were in up here, it's going to bounce back up, maybe to the white EMA at least before coming back down, or it could come all the way back up to the previous high and do an ABC correction. There are several different types of corrections. I have videos explaining the Elliott Wave correction patterns. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to check it out or get a book on Elliott Waves. Decentraland is also looking like it's now making a new low in this dip right here. At some point, I think this is going to be a good opportunity for myself. I'm not telling you what to do, but I see the 5 waves up. It looks like right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could have been I'm not going to zoom in and do the, sometimes I could spend a really long time doing that Elliott wave count. Like this wave right here looks pretty drastic, but sometimes wave 3 does that. This actually could be, actually, I see something. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Those could have been subwaves. And look, because this didn't overlap this price action yet. This is one of the Elliott wave rules, that you can't have a wave. If that was wave 1, at the top of wave 1, this was wave 2, this was wave 3 that I have marked. And if this is wave 4 right now, wave 4 and wave 1 cannot overlap. So if this stays above this previous price action, the next wave could be what most people would call a rocket. Rocket to the moon. But I'd have to keep an eye on this and see if it comes down below this price action. Then I would change my count. But this is something that I've got my eye on. And another one is MATIC. So here is a nice corrective shape. It looks more like an ABC playing out like this. And I was hoping that it would do this about like a month ago or a couple months ago during this middle wave right here going sideways. This one looked like it was due for another drop to around 60 cents or so. It might not make it all the way, or it might overshoot it to like 50. It might not be exact, but that's kind of what I'm expecting for this one. I think I accumulated a little bit of it. Nothing impressive, but in the middle here during this, just in case it went up again. But during a correction, it's always better to wait because they take so much time and it could tie up your liquidity. I always learn that the hard way. But if you waited around and you still have some liquidity, this might be a nice dip right here. Down to, if it goes down to 60 cents, that is going to be nice. Potentially, I think. And that's just a speculation. All right, let's look at, this is pretty much it. Oh, Google is coming down hard. That's what's bringing the S&P down. Snapchat also looks like it's done correcting and making another wave, or done with that middle sideways wave and maybe making another wave down. Yikes. It's at less than half of its original let me find Fibonacci Retracement tool. So right now it's about at 0.618. It might come down to $20 or $19 or so. Snapchat. Not exactly sure where it's going to land. But that could be, if it bounces ever, like this could be a nice trade. Google has been going up for so long. It's interesting to see it coming down really hard. I see 3 waves already in Google. 1, 2, 3. We'll see how many waves the subwaves are. Once we've got a nice big wave down and we can start guessing where it's going to bounce, it's already looking like it wants to bounce. It might try to get down to like 2,000 before it bounces, but it's already close. See how it's coming down towards the 200 EMA? When these waves are spreading out like that, when these moving averages, it's usually a sign that at some point it's going to come down and retouch on that. Like right here happened, where it touched down on that 200 line and then bounced back up. You see this one went under and then went back up. So it's doing it again right here. That's normal. All right, that's about all I wanted to show. Oh, Facebook took a giant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. That might be a good buy for a bounce. If that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then that could be done, bouncing for that first wave. Now, I'm not saying the entire correction is done. I think that's probably the first wave in a big correction. And again, you might not want to try to trade a correction because it's going to have another wave up and then another probably big wave down at some point. Or it could go back up to its previous high and back down to like where it's at now. That could be there could be some good trades in there. Potentially. All right, that's about it. You could see Cardano right here, and you could see ZERP at the beginning. I didn't look at Bitcoin yet. Let's look at Bitcoin first, last. So this was a little confusing because, well, you can see me explaining it in the last video probably. So this could have been A, B, C, and it could have been done there. But if it's making a wave like MATIC was doing, then that middle wave right here, this part, that sideways action looks like it's done for now, and that it might be making the rest of this last wave, where I have it going potentially back into a buy zone under either at or around 30 or lower. It could go down all the way to around 20 grand. And the reason I say that is because that's where the previous high was. And remember what I was saying earlier about Elliott waves, and that wave 1 and wave 4 never overlap? Well, this one is wave 1. You see it's actually labeled. And this one is wave 4. So if this count is actually correct, and this is a wave 4, it's behaving like it so far, so good. Now, that could have been done right there, but the crypto market, the other coins are looking like they're making another wave down. I'm not surprised at all, and in fact, I will be pleasantly happy if it goes back down to anywhere near 20 grand, because I would not only say told ya, but I would also want to buy some. Personally, I'm not giving advice. All right, so that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I have also videos about health. I talk about health and wealth on this channel. I've been really busy on Twitter these days in the NFT community, getting totally sucked in, and I've been doing that nonstop. It's a lot of fun, and I've been making a lot of art. So if you're interested in NFTs, definitely check out my Twitter at DouglasNFTArt. And I'm also on Insta at the same name. See you in the next video. Have an amazing day on purpose. And if you have any questions about Elliott Waves or friendly comments, leave them in the comments section. Thank you so much. Oh, I have an NFT giveaway going on right now. I should have said that at the very beginning. I have an NFT giveaway. I'm giving away some of my art. So if you have a Crypto.com NFT account or a Crypto.com DeFi wallet, then you can join that giveaway before it's over, and I'll be announcing it when I hit 500 Twitter followers, which is probably pretty soon. All right, so see you there. Peace.